Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to another Indie Game Friday, where each week I take a look at a different independent role-playing game. This week I'm going to take a look at another RPG light that's barely an RPG, RPGolf. Developed by ArcticNet and published by Chorus Worldwide Games Limited, it was released on Steam on May 9th, 2018. RPGolf is an attempt at an RPG light golf game hybrid, in a retro style that evokes the older Zelda games. Indeed, the Zelda styling is evident in about half of the gameplay, in terms of basic exploration and combat. The other half of the game is a simplified golf game reminiscent of early 8-bit style golf games. Overall of this are the most basic of RPG elements. There's equipment to find and use, quests to complete, and basic ability scores to raise as you level up. The plot is a little bit weird. Okay, a lot weird. In some peaceful kingdom devoted to leisure and the game of golf, monsters invaded. Now, a few years later, a young woman is determined to play golf once more, and thus sets out with her clubs to beat the roving monsters back and reclaim the land one hole at a time. The actual game consists of two main modes. The first is basic exploration, in which you run around an overworld much like in a Zelda-like adventure, going from map to map, finding chests, talking to people, and interacting with the environment. There's a few types of obstacles which can only be undone when you find certain magic items, and the same button is used to interact with objects, speak with people, and attack monsters. Attacking monsters is also straightforward. Each of them follow patterns and attack you in turn while you dodge around and swing at them. The main character is armed with a golf club, which she may swing in an arc at monsters before her. You can also hold down the attack key for a few seconds, which can trigger a special attack when you release it. This special attack does more damage and sweeps in a circle around the main character. The same magic items used to clear obstacles can also be used to execute magical attacks. For instance, the Fire Glove fires a ball of flame, which can impact enemies and damage them. When you kill an enemy, you are granted a certain number of experience points, as well as some gold. Gold can be used to buy drinks from vending machines, which replenish your MP and HP, or it can be used at bars you find in order to buy potions, antidotes, and other cures, or to upgrade your main attack golf club where available. When you gather enough experience, you level up, which immediately replenishes your HP and MP, increases their maximum amount a little bit, but also grants a few bonus points you can spend on one of the 4 ability scores. Each of the 4 scores impacts not only how your character operates in combat, but also how she is affected in the golf portion of the game. Strength affects melee damage, but also the distance you can shoot in the golf portion. Intelligence affects magic damage, but also the spin you can put on the ball. PRC affects the chance to hit enemies, and in the golf game, how fast the shot bar varies. While finally, defense affects damage received, and how much the wind affects the ball. The golf game coincides with the main quest. In order to face the leader of the monsters, you have to get par or better on each of the holes scattered throughout the kingdom. Effectively, the entire realm is one large golf course. These holes start out relatively straightforward, but gradually get more complex. Not only do you have to put up with each hole according to the usual things you'd see in a golf course, from greens to roughs to bunkers, but you also have to watch for wandering monsters that can block your shots or divert them, or other obstacles that can limit your access to certain parts of the course. Fortunately, swings at monsters don't count against par. There's also the occasional golf-based puzzle within the various dungeons scattered throughout the land, which makes it useful for more than just the main holes. So between the overworld battles, Zelda-inspired dungeons, and the golf course, there's a fair amount of variety to what would otherwise be a very simple game. The ability to pan out and scroll around a map is made for the golf course sections, but is also useful in general as well, because the map sections are pretty large and most of them are very empty. While this is to be expected of the holes themselves, the maps without holes can contain various secrets or random treasure scattered around in the corners. Rather than painstakingly going through each map with a fine-tooth comb, it can be useful to just walk on in, pan around to see where the interesting bits are, and then go directly for them. Graphically, the sprites are very well done, as are the graphic tiles, although the map designs are, I think, a little on the lazy side. At least, when it comes to the overworld maps not making up the golf courses. The holes themselves are designed fairly well. It's as if the holes were designed and then the rest of the map was just placed as filler, including little messages written in tiles from the developers. Musically, the game is very reminiscent of the old retro games it's designed to mimic, and for that I say well done. RPGolf is a mobile port, I'm pretty sure of that, because it still has a lot of random references to tapping on something, and the interface does seem to bear that mobile look. It's controlled with the keyboard fairly well, though. In fact, I'd almost say it seems easier with a keyboard than it would be on a touchscreen. Overall, it is a little buggy. Some of the text boxes seem to either skip words or not display them before the push to advance button scrolls past them, and especially after the character died, I found that menus would sometimes overlap and dump me back to the title screen if I wasn't careful. These are not exactly game breakers, however, and the ample save points scattered around made it easy to get back into the game if I did get dumped back to the title screen. Furthermore, some of the writing seems to be a little bit disjointed in general, giving it a badly translated feel that I'm not entirely sure was intentional. So RPGolf is a cute time waster, which has two main things going for it. First is the relatively unique combination of things. I say relatively because I have actually seen one or two other golf-based RPGs kicking around in various stages of development lately. Still, it's not exactly a common combination, and in this case, despite the focus on more RPG-light elements, it's relatively well executed. The second thing that RPGolf has going for it is its price. It's fairly reasonable even when not on sale. I sometimes use a lunchtime metric when determining whether a game is worth it for me or not. If a game is cheap enough that I pay less for it than I would a lunch, but it amuses me for more than an afternoon, I consider it a win and worth the price, at least for me, even if it's not a particularly long game, or even if it's not a particularly great game. Is RPGolf a great game? Not by any stretch of the imagination. But by the lunchtime metric, it is amusing and might be worth taking a look at for people who are looking for something different. And on that note, I'll wrap it up here. The link will be in the description below as always. This has been the RPG Crawler with RPGolf. If you like what you've seen, remember to leave a like, comment if you've got any feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content, both tabletop and computer. If you're feeling particularly generous, I do have a Patreon at patreon.com/RPGcrawler that goes towards supporting the channels and reviews such as this. Until next time, take care and goodbye.